Hey, Iculus here. I'd like to talk about PeepMode, the melee spectator system for StarCraft 2. In this video, I'm just going to cover some tips and tricks. I'm just going to watch a match or two and comment on the match and use the tools provided in PeepMode to enhance the experience. So let's jump on the NA servers and find ourselves some players.
Alright, here we are. Oh, we've got a backwards murder here. Chub sub. Commandant. Our dog, what's up, our dog? Okay. We'll just wait for this lobby to fill up here. Wow. People are... Yup. Just another observe. Boring stuff. Observers are so boring. Oh, I'm not gonna troll like that. While the map is loading, let me take this opportunity to introduce Lagunitas IPA to anybody who does not know. It is the bomb. It's good stuff. It's good for you. It's probably not good for you, but it's good stuff. I do enjoy it. If you're on the West Coast, I think it's distributed pretty much in the West Coast. I haven't really seen it on the East Coast or in the Midwest, though I don't often go to the Midwest, I must say. So I don't really know about that. I'm just inferring. And here we go, loading away. Who's got the slow machines? Who's going to be lagging? As a rule, we're always going to get a lagger here because they're still loading the map. And oh, wow. Okay. Looks like we might have some people with decent computers for once. Alright, I got some cache here. Been working on my cache. As you see, I'm working on no peep rating. I just observe. That's what I like to do. That's why I built this map. Because I like to observe. I like to peep on the peeps while they be playing, if you will. You don't have to, just if you will. We got Adenosine TP versus Commandant. A little TVP. Alright. Well-mannered folks here, well-mannered. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to switch into cinematic mode. So I can either click here, or I can click here, but in this video, we're going to be using almost exclusively hotkeys. So we are going to hit Alt-C. Alt-C, 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 Alt-C till the cows come home. We can switch back and forth, and it's sweet. So Alt-C, alright. I'm just going to get rid of this betting here because I don't want to bet this first round for now. And by default, well, not by default, I just have the stats, the resources up over here. And I've got the simple version, the default version. And I've also got the Blizzard UI up here. And I'm going to choose a production tab. And I'm also going to zoom out a little bit. So we could either click here or here to zoom in or out. But again, we're going to use our hotkeys. So we've got Alt-Z and Alt-X. So I'm going to hit Alt-Z a couple times. We're going to zoom out. Yeah, so that's looking pretty good. Okay, so let's take a look at our quick panels here. So, okay, we've got one depot, we've got a pylon, we've got a gateway going down, we've got a barracks going down. So, I mean, at this point, this panel isn't really that useful, to be completely honest. And what am I doing here? I'm using the buttons. I should be using my hotkeys. So that's Alt-Y for the structures and Alt-U for the upgrades. And we'll just get rid of that for now. We'll just watch. Actually, we might as well get a more interesting perspective. So you can switch between the autocam styles, I'm sorry, by using Control Shift and then a number. So right now This is a standard smooth pan autocam style, so this is Control-Shift-1 that we're currently on. If I hit Control-Shift-2, now we're on the instant jump autocam style, and so you'll see that we're just instantly jumping around the map when there's a long distance between the points instead of panning. And if we hit Control-Shift-3, we will get what is called the random angle, which includes a pan and a random rotation up to 45 degrees and a random pitch within a certain range. And again, that's Control-Shift-3. And if we hit Control-Shift-4, we will get slow rotation at a pitch of 36 degrees. Sort of a fun viewing angle here. And again, we can zoom in and out by using Alt-Z and Alt-X, or we can use the more advanced Control-Shift-U and O. But I won't get it, I won't get further into the camera controls. If you want to get more into the camera controls yourself, just roll over these buttons, or as always, hit F12, go to Help, and just go to Hotkeys. All this help is specific to PeepMode, so just go into the help there to check it out. So we are going to go back to the standard overhead view for now, so you can sort of maybe analyze this game a little bit better. So I'm going to hit Alt-U. I'm going to check out their upgrades. So we've got Warp Gate coming in, but no upgrades from the Terran yet. We're at 5 minutes. Okay, I'm going to hit Alt-Y and just check out the structure tab. We've got a Cyber Core here. Gateway coming in, but 2 under construction we see there. We've got a factory, but only 1 barracks here. And if we hit Alt-A, we'll get Army Supply and Worker Supply. And, it's fairly even. So we've got the Stalker pushing at the front here, but, I mean, that's just, I don't know why he was doing that. Yeah, I think he agrees. So let's see, how much longer till betting? I mean, I feel like, just based on that, if we look at these supply differences too, I don't know, I think my money's going to be on adenosine TP, if that's how you correctly pronounce that. Also, if Alt-L brings up the leaderboard, we only have 4 players in this game. That's sort of unusual. I didn't realize there's so few players, but it's actually nice that we're not getting spammed by a bunch of observer chat. It's actually very nice. So we'll see if there's the game clock here, the total game clock. As matches go on, this just keeps, incrementing. We've got the total chips in play here. By the way, if you make a bet and you don't bet against anybody else, like for example, we're both, let's see who's betting. It's the dark, it's Tazagare. The dark gray is so hard to read. Yeah, so if myself and somebody else is betting on adenosine, I'm going to put all my money toward him, we stand to lose or gain 30% of what we bet. And you can always check that by clicking on betting and just rolling over these controls up here. They all have the same rollover, and it says, for me it says 0 available chips, 1,000 current bet, and 300 potential gain. Okay, that's also the potential loss in this situation. Normally, you'd potentially lose all of the cash that you bet, all of the chips that you bet, but since no one's betting against us, we only stand to lose 30%. So what's going on here? Nothing much. We got an expansion from adenosine there. We've got another command center going down, landing at the natural for commandant. Not a whole lot of action here. We've got some good siege tank coverage by commandant. We've got some observing going on by adenosine. By the way, I'm just going to use the autocam in this video. It doesn't always do the best job. Sometimes it will pan away from something. It'll be like, why did you pan away from that? But for the most part, it does a pretty good job. So I'm just going to go with it. And if it pans away, it pans away. So let's check our structure tabs again, or our upgrade tabs. So here's our upgrade tab. We've got Siege over here. I mean, he doesn't have any tier 1 at all, any armor attack. We're at almost 10 minutes. Okay, this is a Silver League player, at least is what he's saying, and this is a Gold League player. At least you have to declare your league. I can't detect that. Blizzard doesn't expose that, so that's why you have to ask. So you can't really trust it. So who knows if this is accurate? But based on the play here so far, I think that might actually be accurate. Okay, we've got a 5-gate, 1 robo. We've got a 1-1. So he's just pumping out tanks, I'm assuming. I wasn't watching the production tab there. So he's got a starport going down. We see that here and up here, obviously. Let's look at the supplies. So Adenosine is getting ahead, for sure. I mean, I feel like Commandant's got this sort of tank-heavy strategy here that there's no specific Protoss counter going on. And these turret placements, I mean, well, this is just a fun game. I'm just here to show you the system, not to judge the players. And frankly, I've got to thank these players just indirectly for being my guinea pigs here. So go you guys. So what I'm going to do now is like do some free camera control. So Control Shift, and I said I wouldn't get into this, but I'm just going to have some fun here. Control Shift, and I'm going to go J to spin it a little bit, and L to spin it. You can spin that around by 22.5 degrees each time, so you can get different viewpoints on it. And I'm going to hit Control Shift K, which shifts our pitch down. And then I'm going to hit Control Shift J again to spin around a little bit. And then I'm going to hit Control Shift I to increase our pitch. Get all the way up to overhead view, which is really weird. By the way, the normal pitch that you view the game in is 56 degrees. I was like quite surprised when I learned that it was 56 degrees. I thought it was more like 70 or 80 because you really think you're looking like overhead, but no, you're looking down at 56. So when we want to go back to the default angle, we can hit Control Shift Y, and that will just take us back to the default angle. Without resetting our zoom. But if we hit Control Shift H, it will take us back to the default view. So that's the Control Shift H will always get you back to the default view that StarCraft 2 gives you. So now I'm going to hit Control Shift 5 to do a little fast rotation, and I'm going to zoom out a little bit. By the way, every time you turn on and off your autocam, it will reverse rotation. So I'm going to hit Alt-W to turn off the autocam, and then I'm going to hit Alt-W again, and it's going to start rotating the other way. And I'm going to decrease our angle here again. So this is fun to watch the game, and it's a little bit difficult to absorb like everything that's going on if you're used to watching it from overhead. If you have like a really good handle on the game and you're watching everything and you have a really good handle on the minimap, I think that watching it this way is viable. And I haven't watched this enough to be sure about that, but for the most part you're going to want to be watching it from the standard angle, probably just zoomed out a little bit. And I'm going to go back to Control Shift 1, the default camera. Actually, I'm going to do Control Shift 2, which is instant jump. And I'm going to zoom out again. I mean, obviously, this is the angle that we're all used to using, and so it's the easiest to analyze, to instantly sort of get feedback about what's going on in the game. But I'm curious about other people's reactions to the other viewpoints and whether they can get the information that they need quickly enough, or whether it's just sort of a purely cinematic sort of fun thing. And it's okay if it is. I think that, for example, in a lot of sports that are popular now, you see a combination of the shots that show you the strategy that's going on or the plays that are going on, for example, overhead in NFL, the best. But then you have the action shots that show, you know, the side view of the running back while he's got the ball. And that is exciting, right? Like, you feel like, you know, go man, like you feel like a connection with that specific player. And I guess in StarCraft 2, it's not quite the same connection with like individual units. It's not like, you know, you've got this Colossus that you're like rooting for throughout the season. You know, Colossus come and go. But if you have an affinity for a certain composition, like, you know, if you really love the roach push, for example, and you have a situation where roach push is going on and you introduce a cinematic angle on that, like, people who like roach pushes are just people who like really aggression from Zerg or just in general in StarCraft 2 are gonna like engage more with that scene. I think they're gonna be like, yeah man, like, go roaches, spit your green stuff, melt those bastards. Instead, like, the overhead view is good for analysis, but when it just comes down to connecting the viewer with the experience, I think some other camera angles are called for. And we've got a DT play going on here, and it seems to be targeting the correct things. He's got the turrets going down, but not in time. They're going to take out that tank, and see, that was the situation. Okay, so he's got to get those guys out of the range. Oh, don't go back. What are you doing, dude? Oh, well, alright. So we got some Vikings heading out here. Oh, what happened to my stats? I turned off my stats. I'm gonna get those back. By the way, if you hit Alt-M, you get advanced stats. And it'll show the colors. The colors indicate who has the best in that class, in that, you know, row. So if it's light blue here, it means that this Protoss player has the best mineral collection rate. And this system, PeepMode, supports 2v2s and FFAs, so this can go out another 2 players. There could be, I may support more players in the future, but it just seems not really that feasible to get more than 4 players space in the interface. I just don't think it would really be that feasible to use an auto cam on more than 4 players, for example. It would just get sort of crazy. And even watching 2v2s, in fact, one of the reasons I built this was because I wanted 2v2s to be popular observing experiences, and actually I'd like 2v2s to become eventually popular in PeepMode. But currently I'm focusing on 1v1, and Boneyard is the only 2v2 map. But I'd like to change that, because I think 2v2 has a lot of potential. And I think all of us are still trying to figure out the mechanics of StarCraft, you know, the nitty-gritty strategies, and then when Heart of the Swarm comes out, a bunch of that stuff's going to be reset. So I think 2v2 is something that's going to happen, something that has a higher potential to be popular in the future after more of the 1v1 game has been played out. Okay, so we've got a push here from Adenosine on the 3rd of the Terran, and it goes down. And yeah, those Vikings aren't really going to do anything. Let's check out the upgrades again, Alt-U. Okay, so we're dealing with 3-3 here. He's been busy versus, you know, a 1 with 2 being upgraded just on the vehicle weapons. We've got Blink, we've got Charge, we've got Silent. I'm just going to shut up and we're just going to watch this. In fact, I'm going to Control-Shift-5. Those Thors are really actually doing quite a bit, and the fact that he landed his Vikings actually is pretty smart. A lot of players wouldn't have done that. Alright, I'm going to hit Control-Shift-1 again to go back to normal, and actually zoom in a little bit. So I'm sorry, if people are used to seeing the bars, I just wanted to leave the bars out, because, for example, if you have the bars on, when you zoom out, like, the bars stay the same size. See that? So it can get a little much. Like when you're zoomed out, you see like so many overlapping bars. It's just like sort of ridiculous. That's something I might be able to fix. I'm not sure. But for now, I just leave the bars off when I'm just watching a PeepMode game. And also just, you know, you just hit Alt if you really want to see it during micro battles, you know. I arguably should have been hitting Alt when we were watching that micro battle earlier. Although that was more of like an A attack, like A move scenario. There wasn't a whole lot of micro going on. Well, these guys are being a bit passive. They're just sort of like, okay, we had a battle, cool. I'm gonna like expand over here, you expand over there. I'll like take this one, you take that one, you know. It's like chill. I got, you know, Adenosine's like I got 3-3, you know, ground. So just, you know, I'm not gonna do anything else. I mean, once I got the 3-3, that's, you know, that's all I need. So yeah, just like letting you expand. I'm 197 at 200. I'm just gonna sort of do it. Just gonna sort of do it. Yeah, it's at this point where. Alright, well we got some aggression going on here, but I mean, really, Adenosine should just be, like, crushing. Alright, Control-Shift-4. Alt. Nice little warp in there on the plateau. Alright, this better be the fucking push, man. Just take those immortals and, like, do what has to be done. Just finish it. Control-Shift-2. Control-Shift-K, K. Control-Shift-L, L, L. Control-Shift-I. Control-Shift-Y. Control-Shift-4. Yeah, just push those immortals in. There you go. Done. GG, as Husky would say. Close up. Little mortal close up. Oh yeah, sexy. Control-Shift-5. Speed it up a little bit. Yeah! The Immortals. Rocking it. Rocking it. There you go. Adenosine has won 4.9 points in the Peep rating. He shall be rewarded for that. I won, let's see, I missed it. I think I won 300 for my bet and 100 for observing, which would make that correct. Good game, guys. Good game. I think we are going to exit out of here. We're gonna look for another game.